Are content writers in danger of losing their jobs? This question's being asked a lot lately with the continued success of ChatGPT, especially in the wake of Buzzfeed's recent announcement. John Peretti, the CEO at Buzzfeed, said, "In 2023, you'll see AI-inspired content move from the R&D stage to part of our core business, enhancing the quiz experience, informing our brainstorming, and personalizing our content for our audience." That's a pretty big announcement, especially coming on the heels of Buzzfeed laying off 12% of their staff in December of 2022. It also caused Buzzfeed's stock to jump 150% in the days following the announcement. AI is good for business right now, but is it bad for writers? I've spent the last couple of months trialing ChatGPT and a few other AI writing tools to see how they can augment the content writing process, as well as areas where they tend to fail. I know, I do see the irony, testing out a tool that may eventually replace me, but I wanted to share where I think content writers can focus to stand out in a sea of AI-generated writing. There are three main areas where great writers are still needed to fill in the gaps left by AI. The first place content writers are going to stand out is by going in depth about specific products. Unless you feed it pages and pages of product marketing copy, which you can't really do with these chat-based models like ChatGPT, an AI-powered writing tool is only going to be able to provide vague, generalized information about a product because it's mostly guessing. This might be less true for the larger brands like Microsoft or Apple, because there's a lot of information about their products and their brands online already, which the AI would have been trained on. But for smaller brands and startups, AI is not going to do the trick. For example, I asked ChatGPT to write an article about safe zones, a Kapwing tool that allows you to see what your video looks like on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts before you export it. It provided a pretty decent explanation about why it's important to know the different safe zones for social media platforms, but it wasn't able to talk about the tool itself. The description was somehow both repetitive and vague, which is the opposite of the concise, clear, action-oriented product marketing copy that you should strive for. It also left out key features about the tool, like how it's able to resize content automatically. And that's because ChatGPT was just inferring what Safe Zones is and what it does based on the name and the prompt that I gave it. Now, you can get around some of this by being more specific in your prompt and with some strong editing chops, but what if you want to write an entire tutorial about your product? We write a lot of tutorials here at Kapwing, showing readers how to do specific things with specific tools in our editor. ChatGPT could write a generalized article about how to turn a YouTube video into a TikTok, but it's not going to be able to tell you how to do that using Kapwing. When I asked it to, it got some things right, but it got a lot wrong. Some of that wrong stuff was just outdated information. Remember, ChatGPT has only been trained on data up through the end of 2021, but some of the incorrect stuff was just factually wrong. For example, the ChatGPT tutorial tells readers to use the stickers tool to enhance their video, but there is no stickers tool in Kapwing. Mostly though, the tutorial just felt thin and incomplete, and that's because ChatGPT can't use Kapwing and record the step-by-step process for turning a YouTube clip into a TikTok. But guess who can? Me. And any other human writer. The second area where content writers have an advantage over AI writing tools is reporting on news, trends, and emerging topics. This seems self-explanatory. Machine learning only knows what it's been taught, so it's limited when it comes to researching and writing on new and emerging topics. AI isn't going to be able to report on current events or write a news article about the latest crazy thing that Twitter is doing. The non-obvious piece here, though, is that not only can AI not write about these emerging topics, it also can't predict or find them. And a lot of companies are sizing up AI as a potential tool for content strategy, not just content writing. Consider the Buzzfeed announcement where they talk about using AI as a brainstorming tool, or this new AI tool from Notion that's marketed as a brainstorming assistant. There are plenty of think pieces out there about how to use ChatGPT to fill up your content calendar. It's all over TikTok, and we've actually even talked about it here on our own YouTube channel. But when we actually iterated on the ideas that ChatGPT gave us, the results weren't great. I asked ChatGPT for article topic recommendations for a video software company's blog, aka our blog. It recommended a topic about how to film and edit B-roll footage. I then used a combination of AI writing tools to write the post and publish it to our site. It did not perform well. In fact, it didn't perform at all. The article got less than 100 visits in the first 2 months. Now compare that to a trend spotting article that I wrote around the same time, which got 20,000 visits in the first month and slower but still consistent traffic into the second month. That's about 20,000% more traffic than the first article. And sure, the first article took less time to write, but it didn't take 20,000% less time. If you're going to use AI to help fill out your content calendar, I strongly recommend augmenting that strategy with some really good SEO research, especially if you rely on traffic boosts and backlinks from spiky trending content. ChatGPT and similar tools just can't predict what's going to pop off. Once Google's AI search competitor rolls out, this might change, but for now, you need to double check your AI-generated homework before turning it in. The third area where content writers can add more value than an AI is through providing original insights and human perspective. AI can do a pretty convincing job at mimicking tone and voice if it's been fed enough data to learn from, but it can only synthesize existing information, not form opinions, share thoughts and feelings, or run experiments to discover new information. Here's an example. I asked ChatGPT to write a script for an episode of This American Life hosted by Ira Glass on the topic of the Iowa State Fair butter sculptures. The AI can mimic Ira Glass's style of speech because there are thousands of hours of This American Life archived online as part of the data that the AI was trained on. It can also talk confidently and probably correctly about the tradition and history of the butter sculptures at the Iowa State Fair, because that's all available online too. But ChatGPT can't interview Sarah Pratt, the artist who's been sculpting the butter cow since 2006, nor can it talk with any of the animal rights activists who were involved in the 2013 vandalization of that cow and ask them what message they were hoping to spread. It can, of course, synthesize clips and bits from existing interviews with these people, but that would still be very much fiction and not actual journalism or reporting. Most of us aren't Ira Glass, of course, but there's a takeaway here, even if you're just writing for a corporate blog or a company resources library. Authorship and the ability to prove it is likely going to be very valuable currency as AI reshapes the content creation landscape. People will be looking for proof that things are written by humans. To get a head start on standing out in the sea of AI-generated content to come, companies should start leveraging their in-house talent as topic experts now, leaning into unique voice and personality. One final thing that I think content writers should be cognizant of: AI-generated content has the potential to create a lot of duplicate content on the internet in the coming months and years. Multiple companies in the same niche or industry are probably going to be using AI to generate articles, lists, etc. for them. If we're all giving similar prompts to these AIs, the likelihood that you're going to get a response that is similar or even word for word the same as some other company is pretty high, and Google does not like duplicate content. Just something to keep in mind. The truth is that the rise of AI-powered content writing is a deeply sensitive and complex topic. It would be both callous and untrue to say that AI isn't a threat to content writing jobs. But the good news is that there are certain types of content writing that aren't replicable by AI yet, like in-depth product marketing copy, journalistic reporting, and original research and insights. As for the rest of it, I recommend getting good at writing AI prompts and editing AI-written copy, because it's not going away anytime soon. Hopefully this video has helped ease some of your concerns around AI-generated content and given you a clear idea of how you can lean in with your own great content writing moving forward. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to join our community of online modern creators and get more info, tips, and news like this in the future.